Okay, in this next example, O is the midpoint of segment DG. We know the length of DO, and we know the length of DG, and we want to find how long OG is. So why don't you pause the video, write this information down, and while you're at it, why don't you draw yourself a line segment and label it DG. You want to put O in the middle, and tick mark to show that O is a midpoint. What's up, dog? Pause the video, get that written down, and then we'll go over how to solve this. It is different than the last one, so you're going to want to wait for me. Alright, so this time we know that DO has a value of 7/2 x plus 9, but they don't give us a value for OG. They do, however, give us a value for DG, which is the entire thing. So we're going to do something like that, and we're going to say DG is 12x minus 22. Now, there's a couple ways that you can look at this. I'm going to make this a tiny bit bigger for you. Okay, so there's a couple things that you can do here. You could just recognize that, let's take another example where we have numbers with a midpoint, and this would be 3. The whole thing would be 6. This whole distance from here to here has to be half of this distance because this is right in the middle. So we've got a couple options. We could double 3 to get 6, or we could say 3 plus 3 equals 6. I like the first one, so let's apply the first one, but I'll show you both ways. If we take two of these half pieces, these 7/2 x plus 9s, that should be equivalent to the whole thing, 12x minus 22. You could also make the equation 7/2 x plus, I'm sorry, yeah, no, that's right, 7/2 x plus 9 plus 7/2 x plus 9 equals 12x minus 22, because we know that this piece here is also 7/2 x plus 9. How do we know that? Because the left is equivalent to the right, because that's a midpoint. All right, anyway, let's go back to this equation over here and let's solve this. If we take 2 and multiply it by 7/2, let's do that off to the side. We have 2 times 7/2, and that should be 2 over 1 times 7/2. The 2's cancel, and you have 7 over 1, which is 7. So 2 times 7/2 x is 7x. We have to distribute this 2 times 9 plus 18 equals 12x minus 22. Subtract 7x from both sides, and you get 5x, and add 22 to both sides and get 40, and x should equal 8. So looking back at the beginning, we want to find the length of OG. So we have a couple choices. We could find the length of DO, because it's the same as OG, or we could find the length of the whole thing, DG, here, and we could cut that in half. I think it's easier to just take 7/2 x plus 9 and work with that. So let's get a little clean space. We've got 7/2 x plus 9, and in this case, x is 8. So the question is, how do you do 7/2 times 8? Well, off to the side, let's do 7/2 times 8 over. Yes, it's 1. Now you can do a little canceling. 8 and 2 is 4 and 1, and you're left with 7 times 4 is 28 over 1 times 1 is 1. So this whole thing becomes 28. So 28 plus 9, we add those two things together, and we should get 37. Now, if we wanted to, just to show, we should be able to find 12 times x minus 22. What I did was went to the expression for the whole thing, 12x minus 22. And when we do this, we should get double that 37, because we're dealing with the whole thing and not the half. So 12 times 8 is 96, and 96 minus 22 is 22. 96 minus 22 is 74. So if we take 37 and we double it, we do get 74. So in any event, the final answer to this is that the length of OG is equal to 37.